Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for spending your next 30 minutes with me. So, just this is a disclaimer of what we're going to show. Okay, just a little bit about myself. Before I become a real estate agent, I was a mortgage banker with various local banks, from Maybank since 2010, DBS Bank, and my recent bank, OCBC Bank. So I joined Orange Tea in 2021. Okay, and I started off with a pretty good year, and I had 5 promotions within a year, and they gladly give me a chance to stand here and showcase myself and speak to you. So as of now, I'm running a small team of myself as an associate group director. Okay, so for my credentials, in 2023, I have been identified as the one of the top 20 shortlisted candidates for Singapore most notable real estate agent. So because of my profiles and the upgradings I've done together with the clients, so thereafter I won this award and with SCAA Sales Achievement Platinum. Okay, so on and so forth. So as I mentioned, I have a pretty good year for 2022. So being a pretty new agent, I'm the rookie champion for both project and resale. Okay, my best honor to date, as I mentioned earlier on, is being identified as one of the most notable real estate agent under 40. Okay, I'm happy to have won the award last year because effective this year, I'm no longer qualified for this award because I'm 40 this year. Okay, so a little bit more about myself. If you actually find out, if you actually Google my name, Donald Lee Orange Tea, you can actually see that I have been interviewed by Singapore Business Review to share my views on the property search in pricing for new launches. Yeah. So, Okay, so I'm actually, if you Google me, you can find me on Asian Business, Yahoo Finance. So just if you have the time and you're searching for a real estate agent to assist you for your buying and selling, feel free to let us know. To let me know. You can before that, maybe you want to check my credentials by Googling me. Okay, so I have been featured in H Prop last year for striving very hard because I had a long start. Even though I had a good start, but I really worked very hard in order to achieve what I have done so far. And I think the climax for this article is that when I become an agent, after resigning from the bank, I actually went 18 months without a pay. So I'm very thankful for my family for supporting me. Okay. So now enough of boasting about myself. Let me begin about my topic of how do you eventuate your property investment. Okay, so I use the word eventuate, sounds a bit chim lah, but it means how do you start your property investment? Okay, as for Singaporeans, okay, most of the Singaporeans, 90% of us are staying in HDB, and likely we go into BTO. We walk in with our spouse or our fiancés happily to sign the assignment deed. Okay, when we were younger. So by signing a BTO, every Singapore citizen, we actually have a head start over the rest of the people in the world. Why do I say that? Because for HDB, whether you are buying HDB or EC, okay, that is actually our first pot of gold that we gain. An example, a BTO or four-room flat we purchased at 400,000, likely will be selling based on current market value about 650,000. So we are getting net gain proceed of $250,000. For EC, no doubt the ticket size is bigger, but this actually helps those people who do not qualify for BTO because of their good income. They have higher income. They over the ceiling height for purchasing a BTO. And then for EC, the average price back then was about 925, and the net cash proceed estimatedly is about 450,000. So with this value of 250,000 and 450,000, what should you be doing? Should you be still staying in that BTO or EC? It all depends. If you have the intention to do asset optimization, getting a bigger house, and upgrading your lifestyle, there are several things that you can be doing. Okay, next course of action. So after getting the hefty capital appreciation, okay, we'll be thinking, how do we materialize and capitalize on the profit? What should we be doing? Okay, so we have to be understanding the importance of asset optimization. Okay, another word, optimization, sounds a bit difficult, but what I'm trying to say is that other agencies, they are calling this asset progression. But in Orange Tea, or rather our team, we call it asset optimization. Why? Because we are optimizing our capital gains to buy a better asset. We are not doing asset progression because anybody can do asset progression by taking a bigger loan. Your asset just get bigger and is progressing. But are you really making money or not? So we do not call it asset progression. We call it asset optimization. What should be progressing is the wallet. Our wallet should be thicker after we sell a house and buy a better house. So what should you do? Is this a calculated risk? Okay, everything we do, I deem that there is going to be risk. But in Singapore, I think we are in a very much regulated country. So when we talk about risk, we are talking about things like 1997, whereby the Asian financial crisis, 2008 Lehman Brothers crisis. If you take a look at the difference between the two crises, we actually climb up faster in 2008 because of more regulations coming in. Our government, we are in the safest country in the world. We are very well regulated. Example, we have additional buyer's stamp duty to prevent the ultra rich from other countries, right, from earning too much in our property market. So they have a tax of 60% when foreigners are buying in Singapore. So the supply and demand, this is my personal view. Supply and demand of land or property in Singapore is controlled by who? To me, I see that it's controlled likely by the government. Why? When there is lesser demand, okay, what do the government do? They may just distribute lesser government land sales, lesser en bloc, but when there is high demand for properties, what would they be doing? They will be launching more BTO, so every young couples can have a place, a nest which they call home. Okay, so I think we are very well protected in that aspect. So I would say the word risk is not really very much in relation to property investment. Especially, we have several tools in Orange Tea that we can share with you that how do we assess the risk and make it almost risk-free. So next thing, launches. New launches versus resale. Okay, I'm sure every one of us, we have a real estate agent friend. So how do we do a win-win situation? Do you know why? Your agent friends is always telling you new launch is better than resale because the capital appreciation, you hear things like first mover advantage. You buy things at a cost price and then you sell at a higher price after completion to earn more money. I actually have some example which I'll be sharing. And next thing, by saying that, does it mean resale is not a good thing? Not really lah. But honestly speaking, you and I, we know when clients buy new launch, why do I call it a win-win situation? Because the commission is higher. Okay? I'm not shy to share that because if you're earning 300,000 in your capital appreciation, I'm sure the good agent who recommended you the good project is worthy of that $20,000 commission. Next, this is for discussion purpose only. I have no reference to this. Okay, so in Singapore, property are being segmented into three areas. OCR, which means out of central region for places like Yishun, Tampines, Pasir Ris. We call it OCR, out of central region. Rest of central region are places like Boon Keng, Kallang, or Potong Pasir. They are city fringe, in short to say. Next thing I do not need to introduce, CCR, which means Core Central Region. So, do you still remember those days whereby you can buy a condo in maybe Bukit Batok, Yishun at less than $1,000 per square foot? In RCR, for places like Boon Keng, about $1,200 to $1,400 in about 15 years ago. And Core Central Region, I'm sure we must have remembered this. Units in Orchard, like Ion or Scott's, costing about $3,500 to $4,000 per square foot. I'm sure all of us can remember that because who buys this? the ultra rich, high net worth people will be doing that. So for out of central region, okay, so the project, the new launch are about 2,400 now. Okay, for places like Lentor, I'm sure everybody have heard about. All of us sitting here, we are interested about investment, property related news. For Lentor, there have been many parcels of land being sold for new developments, and it goes as high as 2,004 per square foot for Lentor area. As for RCR, okay, projects like at Boon Keng, the Akadi at Boon Keng is costing about 2007, 2008. Of course, it's a freehold property. Next, Core Central Region. We also have projects in Core Central Region calling from 2,800. So all of us sitting here, if you are to be investing in property, do you actually from this chart, from these numbers that shown here, do you see a potential somewhere? Like buying in Core Central Region at 2008. Yeah, so I leave it to you. But of course, I'm not saying that projects in OCR or RCR is not good, because buying a property is not only about investment, it's also about lifestyle. An example, if my parents are staying in Ang Mo Kio, it is not a bad choice to buy a new launch in Lentor. I'm not saying that it's a bad project whatsoever. But if you're talking about in pure investment context, I definitely see an opportunity over here. And I have a very good example which I'll be showing to you. So now, when we talk about starting of your property journey, how do I start my property journey? What is the potential of my house? Common questions by all property owners. Okay, is it the best time to sell now? Okay, I hear that my neighbor are selling at good prices from for their BTO or their ECs. But is it a time for me to sell now? Can my property further appreciate? Honestly speaking, if your property is not going to appreciate, there wouldn't be any buyers. Okay? So how do we answer these questions? So whenever our client asks us, I feel that they treat us as fortune tellers. So we just hope that we have a crystal ball to answer your question immediately. But as a matter of fact, in all Orange Tea AAG agents, we actually have a crystal ball in our phone. I'll show you the example. Okay, so just 2 weeks ago, we have a client who is staying in Hazel Park condo, Madam Lee. So Madam Lee bought this project called Hazel Park in 2016, so at less than $1,000 per square foot. She was not very comfortable to let us know what is her purchase price. She thought that we will not know, but actually we will know. Okay, how do we know? Let me show you now. So Hazel Park condo is a 999 leasehold, total of 700 units, age about 24 to 25 years old. It's a full, full facility condominium. They have things like swimming pool, 1:1 car park, and even squash court. So for older condos, they actually have a lot of powerful, special facilities like squash court, like City Square. They have this bowling alley. All these are pretty much not so common now because land is scarce in Singapore. We do not have the space for that. So back to Hazel Park condo. So as Madam Lee was meeting us for the first time, she was not very comfortable to share with us what is her purchase price. But what we know is that the recent transaction of 1,006 PSF, and she has purchased this at, we assume, less than 966 because she purchased the property in 2016. This example of 2017 of similar built-in area. Madam Lee's unit is about 1,003. So we use our app. Okay, this is the app that all Orange Tea agents have. That we showed her that we make a guess. We pretend to make a guess. So, Madam Lee, did you purchase your unit at less than $1,000 per square foot? She actually said yes. So we also share with her the recent transaction. Recent transaction just 3 months ago. transacting at 1,006, 2.18 million. So she asked us, is this a good time to sell? Honestly speaking, you see, so the first owner of this property, they purchased this unit at about $667 per square foot. And Madam Lee purchased the unit at 966, about 7 years ago. Recent transactions showing 1,633 per square foot. So now, this actually answers another question. Is resale better or new launch better? It can be either or, depending. But how come this resale project is doing so well? There's a reason to it. I'll share with you. Remember I talked to you about crystal ball. Now I'm going to show what kind of crystal ball every AAG agent has. So as this is an app that is developed by our agency head, Mr. Lester Tan, who is a programmer. So he actually input all the things that a property agent requires into this app. So we have this thing called crystal ball. So now back to the question is, how come an old project can appreciate that much? So we have this crystal ball. Once we input the Hazel Park location, we can actually see how many sites near Hazel Park has been en bloc or government land sales. So just show you an example. There are six sites near Hazel Park that have been due to GLS, government land sales, or en bloc. About 1.43 kilometers away. Okay, this tender of this plot of land was awarded 6 years ago, and there were 5 contenders for this bid. So with our app, we also managed to calculate what is the break-even cost. We even know, after purchasing the land, what is per square foot of the developer. When you buy something, we always want to know the cost price of how much the seller is selling, how much the person is earning from us, right now. This is normal consumer behavior. So with our app, with our crystal ball, we even know that the cost price of the developer is 1,003. So we can predict the launch price. What is the launch price of this particular project? So next, another project, about 1.19 kilometers away, awarded 2 years ago, very recent, so we can actually relate to this. So the projected launch price is about $1,008 to $2,000 per square foot. Why am I using these 2 examples out of the 6 sites? Because these 2 examples are closer to heart. These 2 examples, they are actually dairy farm residences and botany. So for those people who have been very much interested in about new launches, I'm sure you have heard of these 2 projects. Okay, Orange Tea, we are doing that as well. So now, for example of the dairy farm residences, the average launch of $1,006 per square foot. So what is, they have collected the keys effective last year, so we can see a lot of transactions going. So this is the listings that we have. So as you can see, the sellers, or rather the owners, they are calling about more than $1,009 per square foot. And then we are talking about capital appreciation about $300 per square foot based on the average PSF that they have purchased from day one. Next will be the botany. The botany average launch of $1,850. So they're calling as high as 2,003 PSF, or the bigger units they are calling about 1,009. So you see, the increment is not a lot because the project has just launched. Okay, it has yet to TOP. Now back to Madam Lee. Should she sell or not? Let's think about it. Should she sell because the price is high now? But the question is, why is she contemplating whether to sell or not? Reason, because she is afraid that if I sell now, what if the price gets higher 2 years later? So for Hazel Park condo, people are calling about 1,006, 1,007, 1,008. And remember, Madam Lee purchased the unit at $966 per square foot, not from day one. That was just 7 years ago. So is resale really a bad buy? Or new launch better buy? New launch, we always have the first mover advantage, especially for younger couples. If we have the financial capability after doing assessment, we may not need to go through the PTO step to earn the first pot of gold. You can actually speak to any one of us to find out more whether do you qualify or not. Okay. So, yeah. So I'm actually, maybe anyone can answer me the question, should Madam Lee sell the property or not? Because we have yet to answer her also. Now, I'm done with this example. I'm using, so for second example, selection of properties. So assuming the client, you have gotten yourself ready. And then the next question is, what kind of property should I be going for? Or rather, where should I be going? So I'm giving you a real case scenario, Mr. Tan. So Mr. Tan is purchasing the property for the first time. Can be either own stay or investment, but is currently staying with his parent. Is very comfortably settled, and he came to us with an inquiry in February last year. So we have sat down with him, we understand his need and his wants. We have done some financial planning and referred him to the OCBC banker to find out about his loan quantum. So he's able to loan up to 1.5 million, and he has prepared cash and CPF for down payment of up to 400,000. Okay? So it's quite a lot of money because Mr. Tan is not an old man. This Mr. Tan is born in the late 90s. And he has one condition. He only wants core central region. So based on 1.5 million and $400,000 of cash and CPF for his down payment, can I ask this question to the floor? Do you think it's doable? Just a loan of 1.5 million. Can he buy a property in core central region? The answer is yes. Okay. So after shortlisting a lot of properties that we have for him, in Bugis we have the House of Handy, next to Plaza Sing, and also the Avernia. So he fell in love with the Avernia because it's a prestige project by Hong Leong and Guoco. Okay, it has very big common area, which means what? It's good for future value. A total of 376 units only of this 12,000 square meter land size, and it was expected to collect key next year. But for Avernia, they have already started distribution of keys effective last month. And this property is located at 810 River Valley Close. It's a minute's walk to Great World City MRT station. So the unit when Mr. Tan walked into the show flat, this is not a new launch. Okay, this is a post-launch. So a lot of people have this question, Donald, you're bringing me not to a new launch yet. This one was launched last year or 2 years ago. Do you think it's still a good buy or not? Is it leftover means not good? Not exactly. Okay, because the price that is not good at that point of time, which is not interesting at that point of time, it's very interesting now because land price is increasing day by day. So the unit that we shortlisted was level 33. Okay. And then the price is of 527 square foot. The entry price is $3,181. Is it very expensive? Indeed, it is not cheap. But is it a good buy? Shortly, all of us will know whether is it a good buy or not. Okay, so how do we do? How do we actually assess whether this is a good buy or not? So we have actually utilize our app once again to find out about recent transactions of this particular stack, okay, which has to be remain hidden, okay. So Mr. Tan was comparing with this unit 36-XX. This unit was purchased in 2020 at 1.88 million, okay. It's the top floor unit at 3,500 per square foot, and the price that we were considering is $3,100. So there is a difference of $400. So this is a good buy. So some of you may challenge, say, because it's top floor, so definitely it's higher. As a matter of fact, not exactly, because this is a premium project. Every level has a ceiling height, the same ceiling height of up to 4 meters. So the difference between level 36 and level 33 is 12 meters. If you want to know the difference of 12 meters, which means like 6 Donalds, because I'm almost 2 meters tall, the customer get to save $400 per square foot, which is about more than $200,000 cheaper. So, and the thing about it is, the first buyer purchased in 2020. My buyer is going to purchase it in 2023. So he's purchasing it 3 years later, $400 cheaper per square foot with the same Singapore Flyer view. Because the balcony of this unit, you can actually have a good view of Singapore Flyer. So is it a bad buy? I think it's a good buy. But it cannot prove that it's a best buy yet. So now, why is it I'm going to explain why is it the best buy. As I mentioned, they have just collected the keys effective last month. And look at the price that is reselling at. Even though it's freehold, I'm sure you have heard that freehold usually appreciate over a longer period. But now, because of the scarcity of the land and the view that it possesses of the higher level, people are all calling about $4,175 per square foot. In short to say, Mr. Tan has made paper gain of up to $1,000 per square foot. This particular unit is 527 square foot. So Mr. Tan has made profit about over $500,000 by holding just 1 year because he purchased it last year. So if he were to be selling this, can he be selling away this property now after making a gain? Yes. But I would advise him not to, because not forgetting we have the seller's stamp duty. If you're to be selling the property within 12 months from purchase, going to be tax levied of 12%, second year 8%, third year 4%. After the third year, he can sell without any tax. Okay, so he should not be wasting the money to the taxes. He should hold either to enjoy the Singapore Flyer view, wake up every morning and see Flyer, or rent it out at good rental yield. But if he insists of selling, so after paying 8% of seller's stamp duty, he still stands to gain $351,000 with a span of 14 months from date of purchase. So do you think post-launch or resale is a bad buy, must buy new launch? That all actually has to be determined by your preference and choices. Oh yeah, some may say that, no, he never earned $351,000. He paid interest to the bank. As a matter of fact, he did, but only for 12 months. I calculated for Mr. Tan. Mr. Tan only paid less than $30,000 interest. He took quite a hefty loan of over $1 million. So if I net off everything, by holding this property for 40 months, he earned more than $300,000. It equates to $30,000 salary per month. Okay, so I'm done with the selection of properties. And now the next thing I'm going to share is common misunderstanding of asset progression. As I mentioned just now, a lot of us start off with a BTO, HDB. Okay, so bear with me if you do not own a HDB. I just want to share, maybe you can share with your friends that things that they should not be doing to go wrong. Okay, most of us own a 4-room BTO at 92 square meters. You happily purchase and then you build a family there. You purchase the unit at $320,000. You sold it for $650,000. You make average gain about $300,000 per square foot. Sorry, $300,000 per unit. And then, for young couples, normally what we will have children. Then our children is gonna progress into primary school. So my children are getting bigger. I have three child. Maybe I need to buy a 5-room HDB. I can upgrade. But should I upgrade to a private property, or should I buy a HDB nearby because the children's school is nearby? So buying a 5-room HDB flat within the same estate. So they make gains of $300,000. Okay, they purchase the next block or within the same block, but they upgrade from 4-room to 5-room flat. And they're going to purchase the 5-room flat at $800,000. This price is very common now because in Yishun, the 5-room flat also costs $800,000 for those BTO units. Is it a good move? Because I only top up $150,000 because I sold my house for $650,000, right? I just need to top up $150,000. I have a bigger living space. My master room is bigger, a bigger kitchen. But as a matter of fact, this is a very bad choice. Why do I say so? Because through the gain of $300,000, you are not only paying $150,000 to get a bigger living space of 20 square meters. As a matter of fact, you are topping up $150,000, but most of them have actually forgotten. They actually make gains of $300,000 from the BTO. So net, the cost of 5-room was $400,000. So if careful planning had been made the day when you select your BTO, you go for a 5-room flat rather than a 4-room flat. You actually save a lot of money. But by doing so, by upgrading a 4-room to a 5-room, you're paying $450,000 for a larger living area. Okay, why am I sharing this example? It can be quite complicating. I'm just keeping it simple because I'm currently staying in a BTO HDB flat. There are some of my neighbors, they actually ask me, who are staying in a 4-room flat, they want to do this. I've been sharing this with them and then they actually back out of the ideas. By doing so, you're not doing asset progression. You know who is progressing or not? Only the agent is progressing. Because you sell, I earn you 2%. You buy, I charge you 1%. So I earn about $20,000 from this deal. But by earning this $20,000, it doesn't make economic sense for my clients. So I would rather stop them and say that, maybe you want to hold on a while before you progress to something better, private property or EC. Okay, so you think about it. Hopefully, my take today is good enough to have your 30 minutes spent with me. So if you have any questions, right, just feel free to come to me after this session. Okay, I'll be here together with my partners, Orange Tea partners, Daniel, the big guy in orange color t-shirt, or can come to myself for any queries, okay? So there are many paths towards property optimization. So you got to choose your path carefully through determining what kind of lifestyle you want. What do you want? Are you focusing more on the child's development, right? Or purely for investment purpose? So initiate the initial step by engaging a conversation with us. And remember, sometimes the smaller step can be the biggest breakthrough. I hope all of you can be like Mr. Tan, earn $350,000 or even $500,000 within the first year. Okay, if Mr. Tan is here, I'm sure he's very happy with us selecting this property for him. So now I hand the time back to the MC.